Hi, Elizabeth, and hello, everybody out there watching this recording. This is Dr. Crispin, and we are enjoying the BSA 569 class kickoff session, and it's for strategic branding. And thank you, Elizabeth, for joining us. And for those of you out there watching the recording, we hope that Elizabeth will ask all the questions you would have asked if you'd been here. So, so let's get started. Are you up to this journey, Elizabeth? Are you ready to go?
Yes, sir. I'm ready.
Okay. Okay. Well, let's share the screen and see what we have. And you tell me when you can see the screen.
I can see it.
All right. I've got one more thing to do here. There we are. Now, can you see yourself in the video panel on the screen?
Yes, I think so.
All right. Can you see me?
Yes.
Okay. If you can see me, then you're there too. All right. I'll put us both up a little higher. There, you'll see some movement there. Whoops. Didn't mean to do that. There we go. I guess what I need to do is that. Okay. All right. Well, hey, you're about halfway through. This could be you, Elizabeth, in the near future. What do you think about that?
Very exciting. Can't wait.
All right. Well, welcome to you and everybody watching out there. Tonight's agenda is going to be pretty straightforward. It's uh, welcome and talk a little bit about the course itself, product and services brand management, which I think is a very interesting course. What is your do you have a specialty or a major, or are you just taking a general MBA?
I'm doing the interdisciplinary one. So
Okay.
it's marketing, leadership, and then my third concentration is just the general MBA.
Okay. Well, that's good. Well, I think marketing is probably one of the most fun courses because it talks about us. It talks about human behavior and why do we choose what we choose. And so, and the one thing about marketing, about consumers is no one makes a purchase unless they are attempting in some small way or some big way to improve their life. So if you think about every purchase you've made, in there somewhere is an opportunity that you are taking to improve your life, whether it's to buy a new car or to go to the store and buy a piece of clothing that will make you look more stylish and fashionable, or to go to the grocery store and not just buy the sustenance that you need, but something special for that special evening, or just something special for you, a treat. So all of those things together are choices made to improve your life. That's what marketing is all about. And product and services brand management is a very important part of that, which we'll see here in just a minute. Next, we'll talk about the classroom itself and the resources review with the Averett Library. This is a graduate level course, so it requires a lot of research on every assignment, and it's good to get to know the Averett Library. It's a world-class library, and it supports this course very well. So we're all very lucky to have that resource here at the university. Um, so let's move on here. Okay. Well, this whole course is about brands. So what is a brand? I decided I would put this in here so it could be a reference piece when everyone downloads this. I'll post this PowerPoint PowerPoint deck as well as the recording in the classroom, so you'll be able to see it. And by the way, speaking of the classroom, everyone should make it a habit to go in there 2 or 3 times a week, just to see if anything's changed or to see if there's any new announcements. Also, every time I post an announcement, you get an email. Well, sometimes students lose their emails or put them in a place they can't remember, and they say, I need to see what that there's important information I need to see on an announcement. I can't remember where it is. Well, you can always go into the classroom under the announcements tab and find every announcement that's ever been created. So it makes it a very handy handy holder of all that information. So anyway, uh, a brand, the definition of brand is, and I'll read this because it's very important, uh, and to really have a good grasp of what this is really saying, and to not just look at it as a bunch of jargon. A marketing definition of brand encompasses the sum total of perceptions, emotions, experiences, and associations that consumers have with a particular product. So it's not just about the subject or objective things like, how big is it, how much does it cost, and so forth and so on. But it also approaches the human condition of perceptions and emotions and experiences, so that you have a memory and a feeling of a memory of experience with a brand that is pleasing if you want to keep using the brand again to you. It solves the purpose that you use it for, and it did it well, and so you will keep that in your mind. That next time you need this, you will remember the brand off the top of your head and go buy it. The other thing that brands do is to help you choose easily, because again, if you trust the brand, then it makes it very easy to choose the brand, and you'll choose it over something you're not quite as familiar with because you've used the brand and it's worked well for you. So at its core, a brand represents the promise that a company makes to its customers. It encapsulates the values, beliefs, and attributes that the brand stands for, and strives to deliver consistently across all touch points. So as you go through the buyer journey, there are many opportunities to be exposed to the brand, and one of those is called a touch point. And one of those touch points, you may decide that is the moment that you wish to purchase that brand. And so the marketer must be ready with that brand. So when you're ready to purchase, the brand is ready to be purchased and perform. So the promise forms a basis of trust and loyalty between the brand and its customers. And furthermore, a brand serves as a vehicle for communicating with consumers, conveying not only functional benefits, but also emotional and symbolic meanings. Effective branding establishes a strong connection with the target audience, resonating with their desires, aspirations, and lifestyle. A lot of emotional stuff here that the brand taps into. And that's something that we'll learn more about in the course, and it's very powerful. So in essence, a brand is a valuable and tangible asset that embodies the reputation, perception, and identity of a company or product in the minds of consumers. It plays a crucial role in influencing purchase decisions, driving customer loyalty, and ultimately contributing to the long-term success of profitability of the business. Driving customer loyalty is important because it says, I not only purchased this brand once, it performed as expected. That will be my first choice when I need it to purchase it again. And you won't be swayed by other rival brands or competitive brands, because you know this brand works and you're going to choose it. That's the power of a brand. So what is this course all about? here's the here's the description of the course as shown in the syllabus. It covers the strategic management and branded products in organizations, ranging from multinational corporations to single brand entrepreneurial startups. And it also addresses non-product branding, for instance, such as services, corporate, government, nonprofits, destinations, and personal brands. So a wide variety of branding issues are investigated, and they include, and I singled these out, I put them separate because it is important that we know that you learn the definition of every one of these terms as we go through the course, and you will then and understand what they're supposed to do. There's brand equity, brand identification elements, positioning, competing brand analysis. Positioning, there's a word. What does it mean? It means positioning the brand in the mind of the consumer in the right place, so that it sets up top of mind thinking for purchase that brand when needed. Target marketing. Again, who out there would buy the brand if it were available to them, and so forth. That could be your target market. Rebranding, revitalizing the brand and rebranding or changing it so that you can brand it in a different way to make it more appealing, more relevant, more modern even. Private label branding done by companies doing the private, like grocery stores and Sam's Club. Members Mark. If you've ever been to Sam's Club, they have Members Mark. And what people have found over the years is that many of these private labels, generic labels, are very high quality, and they're not lower quality, but they're less expensive. And so that's what that's about. Uh, Stuff happens, so crisis management is very important, and marketing mix options. And the marketing mix is product, price, place, and promotion. And so what options does the marketer have, and how will they mix those up and use them appropriately? And next, and this is all part of the class syllabus. So let's move on to the next one here. So here's the required text. I hope you have the text. It's the 4th edition, and it's by Keller. And Keller, first of all, is very well known in the marketing industry. He has worked extensively with an older uh, but renowned marketer researcher called Philip Kotler. And Philip Kotler is called the dean or father of the modern American marketing. He's pretty old by now. He's about 90, I think. But Keller has been writing textbooks with Kotler, and he represents the next generation of premier marketing researchers and marketing game changers. So we've got a good textbook here. By the way, I tell this to every one of my classes in business, and that is, if you don't know who Peter Drucker is, you're going to learn who Peter Drucker is in this class. And he and Philip Kotler were actually contemporaries. But Peter Drucker died just before the 21st century, but he was almost 100 years old. So he had been working in marketing research for most of the 20th century. Have you ever heard of Peter Drucker, Elizabeth?
No, sir, I have not.
Okay. Well, uh, Peter Drucker is the maven of American business. And he wrote the book in 1934 called The Modern Corporation, which the structure, the hierarchy, is still used today in corporations in structuring how they operate and the disparate use of work and so forth. He also, in his research, showed that corporations or companies should stick to their core competencies, what they do best, and anything else that is not a core competency should be farmed out to another organization where that is their core competency. Can you think of, based on that, can you think of anything a company might farm out to another company that might not be the original company's core competency?
Um, the first thing for me that came to mind was like online shopping and how maybe like Walmart versus Amazon, like Walmart is more of an in-person shopping experience and Amazon is online. Not sure if that's correct.
Well, I mean, it's a good thought. What you're saying is that Walmart doesn't have the same expertise in online marketing or online service that Amazon does.
Yeah.
And yeah, and that's a good point. They don't. And in fact, what Walmart did just before the pandemic, which was fortuitous, they didn't plan on the pandemic, but they realized strategically we don't have the same kind of online capabilities that Amazon does, and yet Amazon is one of our major and most important competitors. So they thought they have two choices. Number one, we can take time and grow our own, learn how to do online, just like Amazon did, and eventually, invest enough and get enough people, and we'll gain that expertise. If you look at Amazon, it took them 20 years. So does Walmart have 20 years? They said, no, we think not. So they went out and bought a company that has that capability and integrated them into their operation. And at a time when they had an opportunity to work on that and kind of perfect it, when the pandemic hit, you remember that you could drive up to Walmart or Sam's Club, and look online ahead of time, pick your groceries, and then they would be put in your car for you by an employee. And you would never have to get out, never be exposed to the pandemic germs, and you could drive away. Do you recall that? Did you ever do it that did you ever do that? Participate in that service?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, that's an example of having an expertise, purchasing an expertise you do not have. What Peter Drucker was talking about was sort of the opposite. If we are let's say we're an office company, and we have an office building, and so forth. Um, one of our core competency is business, is developing products for business and servicing customers that need our products. What we don't have an expertise in is janitorial services. Um, Drucker wrote an article one time called "Fire the Mailroom." In the old days, you used to have a mailroom, and they would distribute the mail every day to all the desks of the employees in the organization. And he said, what does that do to help the core competencies of the organization? Uh, Nothing. If you're in the mailroom, the best you can be technically is head mailroom. You cannot be a CEO of mailroom in while you're with that company. They have their own CEO of that organization, and the mailroom is just an auxiliary function. So, but if you work for a mailroom or janitorial company that goes in and contracts with other corporations, all of a sudden now you can be on a track to use that expertise to become head of that company. So that's what he was getting at by saying, fire the mailroom, stick to your distinctive competencies, and you will continue to grow and thrive. So a lot of important research out of Peter Drucker, and he shaped the world of Western business very extensively. Philip Kotler at the same time was doing that with marketing, the marketing field, and and we will see some of that evolution from the 1950s on with strategic brand marketing, and how marketing has evolved. Marketing is a dynamic field. I mean, whatever it is today, it's going to be different in 5 years. And 5 years ago, it was different in many ways than it is today. We're going to see the emergence over the next 5 years of digital marketing and combined with AI. So how's that going to take shape? Well, I don't know, but it's going to be a wild ride. So it's going to be stay tuned and find out. So that's what I mean by sticking to your distinctive competencies. Okay, so what are we supposed to learn in this course? Well, there are five course learning outcomes, and these are I put them in here because these are important. Tiger Woods, when he plays golf, he gets up to the tee, and he thinks what it's like when the ball rolls in the hole before he even takes his first swing. He visualizes what that whole hole is going to happen. He feels the wind, and he sees the sun, and he says, if I take my first swing, the ball will hit here, and then I'll go and it'll hit there, and then by the third swing, I will be on the green and ready for a putt. And he's got all of that in his mind as to where that he wants that ball to go. And that's kind of what these course learning outcomes are like. Is this is what the ball looks like when it rolls in the hole, long before you even take a swing. So that's what we're doing tonight. Um, where course learning outcome one talks about synthesize the maturing sophistication and complications of brand management over the past half century. So here we will see how it evolves, and future performance is based upon past performance. And so if it worked in the past, it's likely that will move into the future in some fashion, affecting the future. Uh, Number two, understand consumer practices when they observe brands, and then compare brand values to competitive sets. So there are some things here that you need to learn the definitions of. What's a competitive set, and so forth. And how do you compare brand values? And why is it important to observe uh, customers as they observe brands? Well, all of that is telling on how to create marketing strategies to get that brand and like-minded target market customer in the same space, so they can make the kind of decision that you're helping them make for the product that you made available to them. And that is governed by a brand. Uh, Number three, identify current application of strategic brand planning that leads to the implementation of a variety of marketing programs and communication tools. So this is important to uh, see how we can create marketing strategies, marketing brand strategies that will be the best for the company. Number four is recognize how basic rules of product brand management. So right away, you see, we're going to learn about basic rules of product brand management, which is good, and how they can be applied into different brand entities. And number five is investigate special issues that a brand may encounter, including rebranding, crisis management, and brand expansion. Can you think of any brand that you have uh, known or used or read about that has undergone a crisis, and how did it turn out?
Um, yes. So I actually have an internship with the Livestrong Foundation. I don't know if you're aware of Lance Armstrong, the bike,
Oh
the
yeah, yeah, yeah. Mr.
apparently,
Mr. Doper.
yeah, he got like hounded by like the public for taking illegal substances to help
Yeah.
him perform better in races and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Uh, but yeah, that's one business or company that I thought of
Yeah,
that had
he was the brand, wasn't he?
exactly
People bought him. They said, "Wow, he's a winner. We buy him. He's just like
yeah,
Tiger Woods."
yeah.
And has he ever recovered from that?
I don't think he has. So the Livestrong Foundation actually like completely like separated from that persona being associated with him. Whenever
Mhm.
I was whenever I was an intern there, they had just gone through their rebranding. So
Well, you compare that with Tiger Woods, who also was a very his own brand, and how he sort of screwed up with his wife and womanizing and drinking or whatever it was he was doing, and had an accident and basically just really was the opposite of what people expected from him. So his brand took a big hit. But the difference between him and Lance Armstrong is that technically, Tiger never broke the law, never did anything illegal, never broke the rules of the sport in which he was in. He did stupid things personally that that cast doubt on his character somewhat, but time has helped heal that, and he is now back in the game. For how long, I don't know. He's aging, so I don't know how long that will take place. So, yeah, that good example. So these are some of the things that we will dive into and look at more thoroughly, because all of them are important to a brand. A brand can last longer than the humans that created it. It can last multi-generations. Can you think of a brand that has lasted more than a person's lifetime?
well, not so much a brand, but a lot of colleges have been around since like the 1800s, and I guess that might be considered a brand.
Well, sure, sure. They're a type of brand. Have you ever had a Coca-Cola before? 1888. And Pepsi was right at the turn of the 20th century, right after that. So they have been around for many generations. I don't know if you've ever read or seen Better Homes and Gardens, the magazine. They just celebrated their 100th birthday. They were
Yeah.
founded in 1924.
Wow.
So, how many people do you know were born on or before 1924? Not
None.
many, not many.
Yeah.
If not many, if any. And so, but yet this brand, and think of it like a brand, like a living thing, like a plant or a tree. If you take care of it and you resource it properly and you keep it relevant, and it can serve multi generations across multi generations. Now, Better Homes and Gardens is not just a magazine anymore. It's branched out. It's got lots of digital uh, it's digital. It's engaged in social media, and it also has an app and other branded app experiences that are part of Better Homes and Gardens. So it has evolved, but still, the essence of that brand still remains Better Homes and Gardens, and it's still quite popular with young readers today. So that's a good example of it being relevant. All right, let's go here to the next slide. These are the 6 units across the 8 weeks that we're going to be studying, and I thought it would be helpful to put them here again, sort of an overview that you could take a look at to see what is coming up and to see how your learning experience is going to take shape. The first one is I think is a very good start, the evolution of brand management. To understand that will help you understand and create marketing strategies that include brand management, both on the domestic and international scene. So that's this first unit is very important, and I recommend you do all of the readings thoroughly because this will really help set a firm foundation for what's going to come next. Unit 2 is strategy to define and satisfy target markets. Well, first of all, you have to know what the heck is a target market, and so you'll find that out as you read. Well, Elizabeth, have you ever heard of the term target market?
Yes, sir. Many times.
Okay, okay. Well, tell us what it is.
Your target market is like the group of people that your company is catering to, whether it be like age, gender, education level, location, things of that nature.
Mhm. And they represent a group of potential purchasers that are large enough to be profitable. Uh, I really I would like to be considered to be a target market for Mercedes-Benz, the the high value sedan, but I can't be because I can't afford it. Even though I desire it, I can't afford it, so it would not be profitable for them to try to cater to me because it would yield them no return. So just having a desire and towards a product is not enough to be a target market. You have to be ready, willing, and able to purchase that product as well. And next is unit 3, once we sort of get these terms, we really get to work and talk about some of the things marketers do. And the first thing is the analysis portion, because the analysis portion helps create the strategy plans. And that's when things really, really start to get exciting. Um, and then unit 4, implementation of sophisticated brand programs. Well, let's see what a sophisticated brand program would be as compared to an unsophisticated one. Does that mean one is for rednecks and one isn't? Well, I don't know. We'll have to wait until unit 4. Diversity and brand management. We're you know we started to see in the late 1960s how people other than white people were showing up on television in advertising as using products as well. Up to that point, it was not even conceived that anyone other than white people would use brands, which is utterly ridiculous because everybody who has a need and the means and is part of a target market will of course use the brand. It doesn't matter what their race, creed, or color is. And so they're now starting to we'll see how that has evolved in the diversity and brand management, because it represents hidden and untapped markets if you can appeal to those groups within the target market. And then finally, strategic planning for the future. We learned about where it came from in Unit 1. Unit 6 is, well, where is it going? Make some projections, because in 5 years, like we talked about, it's not going to be the same as it is today. Hay preguntas? Do you have any questions, Elizabeth?
I have one question about the assignments for Unit 1.
Okay.
Did we have, I don't know if I'm getting ahead of myself already. Um,
There,
did we have
every
discussion?
question is welcome.
Thank you. But did we have a discussion for Unit 1? I didn't see any,
We do
like,
not.
oh,
In effect, this has been our discussion.
okay.
So, and watching this and so forth. That way we didn't want to load up our students too much in the beginning. So back to graduation. What is your graduation year? Do you know?
I'm supposed to be graduating this December. Like, I'll be completed with my program.
Oh, good for you. That's
Yeah.
exciting. That's
Mhm.
exciting. Well, good. Well, let's see here. We'll stop sharing. And now we're back. Okay. Well, is there anything that I may have missed that you would have liked to have seen or heard in this discussion or presentation?
No, sir.
Okay. By the way, I didn't ask you where do you live? Where,
So I'm from Houston, but I live in Fort Cavazos, Fort Hood. My husband's in the Army and we live on post.
okay, so you're in Texas.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, I'm in North Carolina. It's the Tar Heels, North UNC. I do that because Averett is in Virginia, and of course everybody there is University of Virginia and Virginia Tech. But we have a farm that's just over the state line in North Carolina. So I'm part of the Danville community as well. Okay. Well, this concludes the formal portion of our discussion, Elizabeth, and thank you for attending tonight. It's made this a much better presentation for our other students, and thank you for your great questions and your participation.
Thank you.
And good luck with everything. And remember, I'll see you in class.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Good night. Stay safe. Talk
Thank
to you
you.
soon.
Bye.